Francis Bacon's 1612 essay number 16 of Atheism. I had rather believe all the fables in the legend, and the Talmud, and the Alcoran, than that this universal frame is without a mind, and therefore God never wrought miracle to convince atheism, because his ordinary works convince it. It is true that a little philosophy inclineth men's mind to atheism, but depth in philosophy bringeth men's minds about to religion. For while the mind of man looketh upon second causes, scattered it may sometimes rest in them, and go no further. But when it beholdeth the chain of them, confederate and linked together, it must needs fly to providence and a deity. Nay, even that school which is most accused of atheism doth most demonstrate religion, that is, the school of Leucippus and Democritus and Epicurus. For it is 1,000 times more credible that 4 mutable elements and 1 immutable fifth essence, duly and eternally placed, need no God, than that an army of infinite small portions or seeds unplaced should have produced this order and beauty without a divine marshal. The Scripture saith, "The fool hath said in his heart, There is no God." It is not said, "The fool hath thought in his heart," so as he rather saith it by rote to himself, as that he would have, than that he can thoroughly believe it, or to be persuaded of it. For none deny there is a God, but those for whom it maketh. But there were no God. It appeareth in nothing more that atheism is rather in the lip than in the heart of man. Then by this that atheists will ever be talking of that their opinion, as if they fainted in it within themselves, and would be glad to be strengthened by the consent of others. Nay more, you shall have atheists strive to get disciples, as it fareth with other sects, and which is most of all, you should have of them that will suffer for atheism and not recant. Whereas, if they did truly think that there were no such thing as God, why should they trouble themselves? Epicurus is charged that he did but dissemble for his credit's sake, when he affirmed there were blessed natures, but such as enjoyed themselves without having respect to the government of the world. Wherein, they say, he did temporize, though in secret he thought there was no God. But certainly he is traduced, for his words are noble and divine. Non Deus vulgi negare profanum, sed vulgi opinionis de applicare profanum. Plato could have said no more, and though he had the confidence to deny the administration, he had not the power to deny the nature. The Indians of the West have names for their particular gods, though they have no name for God. As if the heathens should have had the names Jupiter, Apollo, Mars, etc., but not the word Deus, which shows that even those barbarous people have the notion, though they have not the latitude and extent of it. So that Against atheists, the very savages take part with the very subtlest philosophers. The contemplative atheist is rare, a Diagoras, a Bion, a Lucian, perhaps, and some others, and yet they seem to be more than they are, for that all that impugn a received religion or superstition are by the adverse part branded with the name of atheists. But the great atheists, indeed, are hypocrites, which are ever handling holy things, but without feeling, so as they must needs be cauterized in the end. The causes of atheism are divisions in religion, if they be many, for any one main division addeth zeal to both sides, but many divisions introduce atheism. Another is scandal of priests, when it is come to that which St. Bernard saith, non est jam disser ut populus sic sacerdos quia nec sic populus ad sacerdos. A third is custom of profane scoffing in holy matters, which doth by little and little deface the reverence of religion. And lastly, learned times, especially with peace and prosperity. For troubles and adversities do more bow men's minds to religion. They that deny a God destroy man's nobility, for certain man is of kin to the beast by his body, and if he be not of kin to God by his spirit, he is a base and ignoble creature. It destroys likewise magnanimity and the raising of human nature. For take an example of a dog, and mark what a generosity and courage he will put on when he finds himself maintained by a man, who to him is instead of a god, or melior natura, which courage is manifestly such as that creature, without that confidence of a better nature than his own, could never attain. So man, when he resteth and assureth himself upon divine protection and favor, gathereth a force and faith which human nature in itself could not obtain. Therefore, as atheism is in all respects hateful, so in this, that it depriveth human nature of the means to exalt itself above human frailty. As it is in particular persons, so it is in nations. Never was there such a state for magnanimity as Rome. Of this state, hear what Cicero saith: Quam volumus licet patres conscripti no aminus team nec numero, Hispanos nec robore, Gallos nec caledidet, Poenes nec artibus, Gracchos nec denic ho ipso hujos gentis et terra, domestico navioque, sensu Italus, Ispos et Latinos, sed pietate ac religione, atque hac una sapientia quod decorum, immortalium numine omnia rege, guberneric per speximus omnes gentes nationesque super avamus. 1612. Translation. For Cicero, in that last quote, to the English, we may admire ourselves as much as we like, conscript fathers, yet it is not in superior numbers that we have surpassed the Spaniards, nor the strength, the Gauls, nor the cunning, the Carthaginians, nor in arts, the Greeks, nor finally in that native and inborn sense peculiar to this race and land, the Italians and Latins themselves. Where we have excelled all nations and peoples is in devotion, in religion, and in this one wisdom, the recognition that all things are ruled and controlled by the power of the immortal gods. The earlier translation of, let's see now. No, actually I'm not going to. Back to the quote of Epicurus. The translation, let's see, reads as such. It is not profane to deny the gods of the common people. What is profane is to apply the popular notions to the gods. And St. Bernard's quote here, quoting St. Bernard, that is, translation to the English would be, it cannot now be said, like priests, like people, for the people are not as bad as the priests. Right, okay. And of course, the translation of Melia Natura would be better nature. Again, that's essay number 16 of Atheism.